third judge is Vicky Martins from JCI Philippines.
Thank you to our judges. And now the important role.
他马上说什么比赛辩论比上次甄选，
你觉得我们要参与？
上次甄选，现在在比。
对啊，
我甄选完代表台湾
台湾代表队，对啊，对啊，对啊，
可以吧？
Please confirm you are here when I call your name. Opposing the motion for JCI Taiwan, Captain Alf Chen.
Captain, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Oh,
the first speaker, Paul Chu.
President, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. And the second speaker, Tim Lin.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. And opposing the motion against JCI Bangladesh, Captain Trisha from
Yeah.
Yes. First speaker, Ram Tasneem. Good morning. Second speaker, Jumana Akhtar. Yes, welcome. Good morning. So now just that fail to prioritize combat challenges and change our pipeline are destined to fail. Over to VP Kara.
Now we get to the exciting part of today. So the teams have heard this a little bit earlier, and they had a very short 15 minutes to prepare, but that will be enough time for an exciting debate. So we're now going to begin, and speakers, just a reminder, make sure you have the timekeeper's video pinned. We want you to have lots of fun and really enjoy today's debate. So please now give a warm welcome to the captain of the proposing team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you start speaking. Best of luck.
Greetings, judges, ladies and gentlemen. COVID-19 is our ultimate enemy. Their existence brings a new tragedy to human beings that we have never faced before. It has transformed all our businesses. They started in March 2020, and millions of lives have lost. Many countries have tried their very best in combating COVID-19. Some have succeeded, but some have failed. Till today, June 2022, different countries have utilized all their methods, and through a collection of data, we hereby can conclude that businesses that fail to prioritize flexible work environments to combat the challenges and changes brought on by COVID-19 are destined to fail. So who are the victims in the business? Human beings that participate in business activities, employers, employees, consumers who are in the front line to combat COVID-19. So what is the best method to protect all three of them? Flexible working environment. And that includes, most importantly, factor, wearing masks. Everything that matters, wear your mask first. The definition of flexible working environment includes changing business hours, new forms of uniform to combat COVID-19, rear mask protection, social distancing, and work from home, anything that's related with work. Physical isolation from virus through a distance is the best way to maintain business activity and to protect employees and consumers and should be prioritized at all costs. If not, pandemic outbreak will occur, the business activity cannot be continued. There will be a lockdown and destined to fail. Our first speaker will mention hybrid working, and our second speaker will mention about the importance of flexibility and wearing masks. So Taiwan did a good job in combating COVID-19 and donated millions of masks to assist worldwide. Due to their early prevention of wearing masks, Taiwan's GDP at that point in time did not decrease compared to other countries. And at that time, USA has 10% lower GDP and 20% in Europe. So for business to try everything else to combat the COVID-19, please wear your mask first. Thank you.
Thank you for that fine speech. We'll just give the judges one moment. The judges can give me a signal when they're ready. No pressure. Two ready? VP Kaveen, you ready? Yep. Thank you, judges. It's not easy to do the scores so fast. We now please welcome the captain for the opposition, the against team, to the floor. You also have 2 minutes, and your time will start when you begin speaking.
Hi, so I'll just confirm if I'm audible before I start. So all good, right? Yeah, I'll start in like 5 seconds after I've gotten my timer ready.
As soon as you start speaking, your time starts.
Yeah, sure. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So I think for this debate, it's important to understand what sort of context we're talking about. I think we agree that it's our burden and responsibility to follow all of the rules that the foresight talk about in this debate if we were inside COVID pandemic happening right now, right? But I think in the context of this debate, it's important to recognize that we have started to come out of the COVID crisis, and regular connections in the workplace and regular work has already begun to take shape, right? What this means is now even COVID are being maintained, they are not 100% mandatory in some countries for the sake of the economy, for the sake of taking people, creating progress and creating a better life for people in general. We are coming out of this, right? So what we'll prove to you in this debate is very clear. We're going to show you that yes, in some circumstances, probably it's good for us to create flexible work environments in order to tackle these challenges, but this doesn't have to be mandatory, which means that companies that fail to do so don't automatically become destined to fail. So in this scenario, what are the things that we're going to talk about? Firstly, we think that in general, oftentimes face-to-face interactions are necessary for people in general to create work connections. What this means is, especially for small and medium level companies, in order to create engagement, I won't be taking POIs. In order to create engagement, you need to create an environment where people are comfortable and people want to work for this. This is the reason why often a lot of small companies succeed, and without having this, it's unclear if those sort of connections can be made and therefore development can be created, right? But secondly, we also think oftentimes there are types of works and demands of works which necessitate things like a fixed work environment. So for example, if your work demands you to focus on the peak time of the supply chain, then you need to be present there, and therefore flexible work environments just don't work. But finally, we also think for a lot of people, technologies aren't really all that accessible, especially for people in developing countries, and therefore if we only focus on a flexible work environments, probably they can't access things like work from home and stuff like that. So for all of these reasons, we don't think that just because you're not prioritizing a flexible work environments, you're automatically destined to fail. Thank you.
Thank you so much for another fine speech. Again, we'll give our judges a couple of minutes to frantically create their scores. Not an easy task being a judge. While we give the judges a moment, I'm just going to remind our speakers that if your Wi-Fi drops or you have any bad connection, unfortunately, that's part of the challenge of doing the debating online. So your time will keep going even if you drop. So hopefully you have good connection. We'll continue to give the judges some time. Can I get a thumbs up from the judges when you're ready? 2, 3. Fantastic. Thank you, judges. Now we move on to our first speaker for the proposition, the team for this debate. And the first speaker has 3 minutes, which again begins as soon as you start speaking, your time begins. You don't need to count us in. As soon as you say your first words, the timekeeper will press start.
So good afternoon, section chairs and dear judges. First, I was quite doubt about what the captain of opponent team just mentioned. He said we're coming out from COVID, but let me give you a hard fact. 2 out of 3 of us just recovering from COVID-19, me and our captain. So I disagree, the COVID is getting eased, it's getting better. Our captain just mentioned, flexible working environment is the best answer to protect employees, employers, and consumers. This is why this house believes that businesses that fail to prioritize flexible working environments to combat the challenge and change brought on by COVID-19 are destined to fail. Captain Alf also mentioned that physical isolation from virus through a distance is the best way to maintain a business activity and should be prioritized at all costs. I will continue to emphasize why it is so great about flexible working environment by using a very good example of hybrid work. First, let me explain what hybrid work is. Hybrid work simply means combining work from home and work on site together. It is definitely hybrid. A survey done by McKinney Global Institute addressed that top executives confirmed that their organizations are shifting to hybrid work from our roles that aren't essential to perform on site. In order to allow employees to provide their full potential at work, hybrid work should be prioritized. Not all businesses have to change their business model in order to survive. They just need to. So what companies benefit from hybrid work? Microsoft start from October 9, 2020. Spotify start February 12, 2020. British Airways, Citigroup, and of course, Apple on June 4, 2021. This top company is execute hybrid and allow business to function safely in order to combat COVID-19. Prioritizing this quickly can allow employees to show their full potentials. So again, this house believes that businesses that fail to prioritize flexible working environment to combat the challenge and change brought on by COVID-19 are destined to fail. Finally, our second speaker, Tim, will explain more on why all businesses should force employees to wear the mask at work all the time and make it as a protocol. Make the environment flexible are so important. And again, this house believes that businesses that fail to prioritize flexible working environment to combat challenge and change brought by COVID-19 are destined to fail. Thank you.
Thank you so much, JCI Taiwan. We'll give our judges a moment. Great to have your team here when they're struggling with COVID, whether the facts are true or not. Thank you. Continue, judges. Judges ready? Great. Thank you, judges. We now move over to our first speaker from the opposing team, the against team. Again, the first speaker has 3 minutes, which starts when they start speaking. Welcome.
So there will be a small clarification. Jumana, I will be going as the first speaker instead of Vishram. There's a small change. I hope you know.
Okay,
I hope I'm
continue.
audible. Starting the speech in 3, 2, 1. Just a few minutes ago, one of the judges mentioned that if my net drops, the time will just keep going. This is exactly the problem with flexible working. Some of you have good internet connection, have good RAM and all of the other equipment that you need for flexible work environment, but this is not the case for developing world. Especially not the case for people coming from the minority. They do not have access to all of these big equipment so that they can work as efficiently as a white male, doing in the developing countries and developed countries with like big companies. Notice all the examples coming from the proposition to speeches, right? Microsoft, Apple, and they give you big statistics about how they are incorporating hybrid work and flexible workmen. Panel, notice, all companies are big. They're not going to fail even if another COVID and pandemic comes forward. So what we have to focus is small and medium businesses. They have a fixed office, they have fixed equipment. They cannot give out equipment to the, as an employer to the employees. And you cannot expect these employees from the small companies or middle companies to buy this equipment to work from their home, right? Because you just do not need a computer for all of the jobs. Manufacturing jobs, field jobs, all other intensive work need big equipment. So, saying these companies are going to and destined to be failed is an assertion and not going to happen. If you force these companies to, be flexible habits, that is when they are going to fail. That is not taking right now. That is when they are going to fail because you are giving them more extra burden and extra cost, and you're literally giving these employees to imply with these regulations which they cannot do because of all of the reasons that are persisting in the developing world and also in the developed countries in minority communities, right? That means the employer and employee benefit that they are talking about do not go for their own good. It goes into our side when you give them regular work environment where they have been doing so, right? And Shisha also tells you how they are going forward with this kind of things. They're going to the regular life. Yes, 2 of them recovered from COVID, but these are rate of COVID is decreasing and also going to the regular life. And that is why 3 of us in a developing country sitting together without the restriction from the government because the COVID situation is much better and we are going back to the supply chain of regularity, right? All of these things are persistent in our world, and I actually have proof for ages that this works, right? So they cannot just prove to you by giving examples of 3 of the big companies which are not never going to fail in the regular workforce, traditional workforce, or in the flexible workforce and get away with it, right? That means the main 2 stakeholders in the debate, employees and employers, do not get destined to fail when you impose them these kind of things, but on the opposite end, they get destined to fail when you impose all of these certain and additional barriers for them because of all the costs and the social implications that comes with it. Thirdly, panel, notice for employees like women or minorities, they go into their home environment and leave all of this burdens home behind, balance and all of this other things to be supportive and have to enter them when working. That means their performance are going to drop. You are literally endangering the minority communities workers. Very proud to oppose this side of this motion.
Thank you very much, JCI Bangladesh. I just want to confirm that that first speaker is Jumana Akhtar and our second speaker is now Ishman Tasneem. Is that correct, JCI Bangladesh? JCI Bangladesh, can you confirm that's correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Our audio wasn't working properly, so sorry about that.
Perfect. So speaker 1 is Jumana Akhtar and speaker 2 is Ishman Tasneem. Is that okay, judges? I have 1 judge, 2 judge. Great. Thank you so much. Now we move back over to the proposition team for the second speaker. And again, the second speaker has 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, apologies, 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. So let's get back to the basic. What's flexible working environment? Working from home is flexible working environment. Wearing a mask is flexible working environment. Doesn't matter if it's a government regulation or it's a policy at the company. This COVID-19 pandemic has effect on all business worldwide, and the key of surviving this business has been the working environment. If a business don't prioritize flexible working environment, then it's destined to fail. Ernst & Young Global People Advisory Service Deputy Leader says that employers have heard loud and clear that employers are demanding flexibility in post-pandemic working world. The biggest danger facing most employees is that fail to provide clarity around their hybrid work and return to office plans. Many organizations seem to have commitment issue around flexible working. They know they need to adapt, but are holding back on implementing any firm plans. We know that many employers are prepared to quit if they don't get flexibility at their work. They need also the employees will fail to move with the time to lose their people. With company losing human resource can create catastrophic damage to the company and leads to fail. Did you guys know that Disney during the COVID outbreak cost $2.4 billion to Disney, and they lay off 28,000 employees? Not every company can do that. Not every company can afford 2.4 billion and lay off 28,000 people. So that is the result why that's the result why companies should have flexible working environments. The reason why Disney has COVID outbreak is because people don't wear a mask. People don't wear a mask when they go to Disneyland. People don't wear a mask anywhere. That's why when people go to Disney, they get the virus and it outbreaks at Disney World. So before the pandemic, have you ever seen many people wearing masks on the street? No. People nowadays wear masks everywhere, during work and at home, anywhere, because it's the best way to prevent COVID. Clearly, forcing employees to wear a mask is already making the working environment flexibility. Name one company that did not force their employee to wear a mask and survive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Speaker 2. Let's give the judges a moment. Three judges, fantastic. We move back across to the opposition, the against team now for Speaker 2, and you have 3 minutes and your time begins when you start speaking.
Hello, just confirming that I'm audible.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. I'll be starting my speech in a few seconds. Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel, understand that what we're talking about in this debate today, or the comparison that we're trying to hear first today, is that when you want to prioritize what's best for your company's interest, it may or may not be flexible work environment. That does not automatically mean you're destined to fail. The debate here in today, we talk about why and how companies should always prioritize their welfare of the stakeholders, the three stakeholders that the government side or the first side also agrees about, such as the employers, employee, and the consumer. That may or may not be by adapting to or prioritizing to a flexible work environment as their key. Because understand, panel, when you prioritize flexible work environment as your primary and key concern, that automatically means your other or work interests are not of that much of a key concept at this point, right? Exactly at that point, we believe that some company may develop and adapt to by adapt to using flexible work environment, but that does not mean other companies who are not able to adapt to flexible work environments right at this moment are automatically destined to fail. This is exactly why we believe that the company should think of and decide of their interests as of their own. Exactly that. Here is why our comparison and the model that we are trying to propose to you sounds better. Right? Why do we believe that this is particularly important? I'll take POS later. Recognize in the first when they come up and talk about how Disney had many layoffs, recognize they come up and only talk about the big companies, but recognize even in these sort of scenarios, recognize some companies, even in some big companies like some manufacturing companies, they cannot just come up and adapt to automatically flexible work environment all the time, because I'll take POS later. Thank you. At that point, recognize things like even some small companies like grocery stores, like your agri farm. These people need to work and need to have face-to-face interaction all the time, and forcing them to move out to flexible work environment like work from home or hybrid work environment just simply does not work out from them. Recognize at this point of scenario, face-to-face brainstorming or agile brainstorming by having live conversation is probably far more better for them. Exactly. Secondly, when we come up and talk about some things like supply chain and manufacturing, this is also something they do not respond us to when we talk about how significantly lead time can increase by probably having more in-person interaction. This probably looks like when a manufacturer or engineers work at supply chain or factories. Recognize at this point of time when all workers or all employees tend to have a flexible work environment. Recognize when all interactions are happening online, you tend to have a single point of failure. That is when some manufacturing or some procedure in your business are tend to fail. Recognize you cannot just automatically right away go there and stop this failure to begin with. Exactly at that point of time, we believe that flexible work environment and hybrid flexible work environment does not automatically equate to equitable workplace. What is my second speaker come up and tried to say it? Like exactly at that moment, whenever employees and companies in general tend to have a flexible work environment, recognize they cannot evaluate all of their employees properly, because all of their employees at their home do not have equitable work environment or do not have equal amount of resources. Exactly at that point of time, we believe that layoffs that do happen in online workforces are not equitable and charitable to all. Therefore, very proud to. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, JCI Bangladesh. And we again will give our judges just a moment to tot up their scores, and then we will be going back again to the opposition, to the captain of the opposition. So let's give the judges a moment. Thank you. Three judges ready. Great. Thank you so much, judges. So as I said, we're switching things around for the last, the captain's last speech. So we go back to the opposition now, and we welcome Captain Against for 2 minutes. So back to JCI Bangladesh.
Hi, I'm audible, right? Yeah, I'll start in like 5 seconds after I set my timer. Um, Starting in 3, 2, 1. So I think in terms of fulfilling the burden of this debate, the opposition side does a much better job than the side that is debating for the motion, right? So for example, what they needed to prove to us is that companies, if they do not prioritize COVID-19, will automatically fail always, even under the context where we are coming out of COVID, and these challenges have lessened to a certain extent, right? I don't think they have been able to fulfill this because they only give us examples of 1 or 2 really big companies. But when we bring up examples of like small and medium companies who need this sort of face-to-face interaction in order for communications to happen and in order for connections to grow so that their business can do better, they never respond to us. They also never respond to us about the claims we make in terms of businesses that require supply chain management or that require you to be present there at the peak moment of at the peak hours of your services, right? So therefore, I think just in terms of that, we've already proven to you why some businesses, even I don't think like POIs are permitted in replies, but we've already proven to you as to why some businesses can succeed even without prioritizing COVID-19, right? But in terms of equity, I think we've been able to prove to you why like prioritizing the needs of the workers in general is more important than prioritizing only COVID-19, because the flexible work environment that they talk about isn't accessible to everywhere and therefore is not sustainable. So the proposal that we give you is one where everyone can get involved, because even if people don't have access to really good internet, even if people come from developing countries, they can still join the workforce because we are giving them the ability to come to work and join directly, not through some like virtual space and things like that, right? So therefore, I think in our world, not just the people who are privileged enough and who can access these sort of work from home or flexible work hours get benefited, but we create benefits and equity for everyone in general. We believe that is the reason why this debate clearly goes to the negating side. Very proud to oppose.
Thank you, JCI Bangladesh. Let's give our judges a moment. Fantastic. And now closing out this first debate, we go back to the captain for the proposition, and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, dear judges. COVID-19 is our ultimate enemy. We all need to work. And please don't underestimate virus. COVID-19 has transformed to Omicron and may be other forms of mutation in the near future. But overall, no matter how dangerous it is, flexible working environment helps you from isolation of virus physically, especially the minority and women. Government must assist them to have better working environments. The negating team misunderstood our motion. We are not saying that you can't work. We are recommending you to work with a mask so you can be protected, or better, work from home. Hybrid work if you have the condition. If you don't have the condition, wear a mask. Work from home. Small business can access online. We agree, negating team captain, face-to-face interaction, but please wear your mask first. We have not come out of COVID-19 crisis. Our first speaker mentioned that our environment is still dangerous. Captain, myself, and Speaker One get infected a week ago, and we were careful. So if we don't prioritize our protection, we probably will get a second time, and the life is at stake. Now, Taiwan donated masks worldwide because many countries are not ready yet, but now it is May 2022. Mask factories worldwide are fully functioning. We appreciate negating speaker that minorities and women are in danger in combating COVID-19. So it is more of the reason for them to prioritize a better work environment. Grab a mask. And now it is so easy for minorities and women to grab masks anywhere you want. So combating COVID-19 is possible. It's not just in big companies, but also in small businesses. For example, I am running a small business and I have plenty of masks for my employees to use with different size and different colors. Now, outbreak happens because we underestimated them. China, Shanghai, and many other countries, they pay devastating prices. Before carrying on everything or anything else, please wear your mask. So businesses that fail to prioritize flexible working environment to combat COVID-19, that is for changes, will always and will destined to fail. So please wear your mask first. Thank you.
Over to you, VP Reki.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you all the speakers for the fine speech, and thank you for both the teams for the great debate. I know now judges are ready. So now I request Valentina to send the judges in the breakout room to finish their work.
Yes, 1 minute.
Thanks, VP Reki. So our judges will go to a breakout room and our timekeeper will go to a breakout room and they will tally up the scores and come back to us in a few minutes. This is a good time for people to take a quick toilet break if they like, or stay here. But it was really great to have that first debate. It's not easy for the teams to go first, so well done. And let's give a virtual round of applause to both teams. You were fantastic. Our judges will be moving across now in a moment, I think. It's nice to use this time when the judges are gone to have a little chat. I know for me, as a very shy JCI member, when I started first, debating was a way to get started into this exciting world of public speaking, where maybe you didn't have to be as prepared because it was more off the cuff and you only had 15 minutes to prepare a topic. So it was so nerve-wracking and so exciting. But as we see the smiling faces here today, we know that it can give us so much fun and so many opportunities. So for anybody watching that gets an opportunity in your local organization or national organization to pick up the microphone, and I used to say to people, just accept the challenge, even if you're afraid. You won't die. Hopefully, nobody has died in a JCI debating competition, so things can only go well, and you just never know where it will bring you. It could bring you to represent your national organization at an area conference, maybe even at World Congress. So definitely, if you have an opportunity to do it, just say yes.
So all the participants are excited, waiting for the result. Who is going to in and who is going to out? But don't feel bad also, don't feel good also, because it's a part of every game and every competition. I'm able to see some excited face. I'm able to see some thrilled face. I'm able to see some happy faces.
This is a tricky task for our judges, trying to listen and assign points and get all the calculations right. So we'll give them another few moments. Often when we hear results and you have people, especially we have, I'm sure, lots of people from Taiwan and JCI Bangladesh watching, and when the result comes back, people will feel passionately about which side they felt won. But what you have to remember in JCI debating is that not always about the absolute best arguments or what exactly is said. It's also about teamwork. Did you mention everybody on your team? Did you keep to time? So maybe those of you who aren't familiar with the score sheet, if you go over time by 10 seconds or under time by 10 seconds, that's still okay. That loses you 0 points. But if you go over time by 11 seconds, you lose 1 point. 12 seconds, 2 points. 13 seconds. So it is the point system is very important when you're on JCI debating. I remember going to my first World Congress in Leipzig in 2014, and our team felt we had the best arguments. But when we asked for feedback, we realized we had fallen down in all of the other points. So it's exciting. Let's give a virtual round of applause as well to our headquarters staff, Valentina, who is super busy behind the scenes, making sure people are in the right breakout rooms and making sure all the technical stuff is happening.
Yesterday, wonderful night hosted by JCI Taiwan. And now we are waiting for in future also wonderful ASPAC and World Congress, physical ASPAC or World Congress from Taiwan, because due to COVID we missed the physical last year. But yesterday you hosted a wonderful night.
Greetings from Taiwan. Thank you very much, judges and chairs, and we're very, very shy. And thank you for this wonderful competition that we can have here, and so we can have a game with this Bangladesh. It's been wonderful, and it's so nice of meeting you. Thank you. And because we're too shy, so we are a little bit afraid to say anything. But thank you everyone for today, and welcome everyone here and enjoy our debate here. Thank you.
Thank you, JCI Taiwan captain. Indeed, we have to remember that the teams, if we were together in person, the teams would still meet and give each other a hug afterwards. But what is said in JCI debating it doesn't carry over to real life. We're all friends at the end of the day.
That's so true. Thank you.
Fun fact, what our first speaker said was true. Our captain and speaker once recovered from COVID, and they're all fine right now.
Yeah, for your information, I got my COVID from the captain.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that I got infected.
Fine.
Yeah,
We never
hello.
know if people are telling the full story.
Yeah, so we got disconnected at the last moment and we didn't get the results, or we are not really sure if the results were announced. They were
The results not out yet.
No results yet.
Debating.
Dear participants, there was an issue with the breakout room, so we are going to send you back once we fix the issue. I apologize.
All judges back. So now our result is ready with the judges.
Perfect. So as soon as the other participants join their breakout rooms, we can announce the winner.
So when the result is ready, judges ready, result are ready.
Yes, the judges are
So the winner of this debate is
VP Kevin, if you want to announce the winner.
I think he's gone back into a breakout room. Is he, Valentina? VP Kevin, do you want to announce the winner? You're back now.
Should I? Okay. So the winner of debate 1 is JCI Taiwan.
so final the result announced by our judge Kavin. So the winner of this debate is the first debate is JCI Taiwan. Over to VP Kara.
Congratulations, JCI Taiwan. And again, I'm also going to say congratulations to JCI Bangladesh, because it is a fantastic honor to be able to represent your national organization in an area conference and to do the first debate. So thank you so much, and thank you so much to our judges and timekeepers. So now we're moving back to VP Reki to start our second debate.
Yes, congratulations JCI Taiwan, and congratulations JCI Bangladesh also for a wonderful participation. And thank you judges for your wonderful time. So once again, thank you. Now we'll go to our next part, debate 2. So welcome to our second debate of the first round of this 2022 JCI ASPAC Debating Championship. Let us review the rules of anyone joining us now and for the newest team. Before we begin our competition, it is important that we give an overview of the debating rules that help structure our competition today.
Thank you, VP. So today's team will consist of one team captain and 2 supporting speakers. Debates will have a proposition team arguing for the motion and an opposition team arguing against the motion. Each team will speak a total of 4 times, with the team captain speaking twice. A point of information can be raised while an opposing speaker has the floor by unmuting yourself and saying point of information. A point of information cannot be asked during the first minute, which is protected. Speakers who have the floor can refuse or accept the point by showing they will address the point after making their argument. Teams will be allowed 1 60-second timeout during the debate if they want between their speakers, and only immediately after a speaker has finished delivering their argument. The decisions of our 3-person judging panel are final and will not be appealed.
Thank you, VP. So as a reminder to everyone, please keep yourself on mute unless you are speaking or asking a point of information. Please also remember to turn off phones and other devices and close down any other browser windows or program that may create noise. When it is your turn to speak, please join the timekeeper's video so that you have them on screen at all times. check that everyone knows how to do this. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute time they're going on. So now it's time to please help me welcome today's judge to the stage once again. VP Teresa Pun from JCI Hong Kong. VP Kavin Kumar from JCI India. And Vicky Martins from JCI Philippines.
Thank you, judges. And the important role of timekeeper, please help me welcome Arvind Buredi and Vashundra Singh. I'm now going to introduce the teams, and for the teams, please confirm that you are here when I call your name. So the proposing team is JCI Hong Kong, so Captain Rain Ho.
Hello everyone, this is Rain from Hong Kong.
Thank you. Our first speaker for JCI Hong Kong, Jenny Chan.
Hi everyone, hello fellow JCs.
Thank you. And our second speaker, Cheryl Chan.
Hey, good afternoon everyone, this is Cheryl.
Thank you. And our opposition team, our team against is JCI Australia. So do we have Captain Alex Beard here?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here.
Fantastic. First speaker, Clarissa Semple.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm present.
Fantastic. And second speaker, Marie Russo.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Super. Thank you, teams. So the motion that we're going with our second debate, and these teams have already been preparing, is self-funding a startup is better than taking loans. Self-funding a startup is better than taking loans.
Thank you, VP. So the team have prepared for 15 minutes for this debate. Speakers, please make sure you have pinned the timekeeper's video. So wishing you all the very best. So first, please welcome the captain of the proposing 4 team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking. Timekeeper, be ready.
So, may I start at any time, or I have to wait for, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow judges, good afternoon. Today's motion is self-funding a startup is better than taking loans. To begin with, we would like to define what is a startup. According to Cambridge Dictionary, startup is newly established business, which equals small business. And to self-funding a business means that the business owner provides initial funds to start a business through their own personal resources. So, to support our argument, we have 2 main points. First of all, it's about the nature of business. So how nature of business would affect the possibility of getting initial funds, it will be further elaborated by our first speaker, Jenny. Second, it's about the effect on credit score. As we all know, there are many concerns when it comes to getting loans. The most important part is the effect on our credit score. And this point would be further elaborated by our second speaker, Cheryl. So, according to our point, our motion, self-funding a startup is better than taking loans, must stand. And I'll let our first speaker, Jenny, and our second speaker, Cheryl, to elaborate more, and please stay tuned. Thank you.
So thank you for that fine speech. A round of applause for a wonderful speech. So now judges ready? So please go, judges, to go through your work. Once it's finished, please show your thumbs up. One judge show the thumbs up, waiting for the rest two judges. Yes, thank you. So, score sheet is ready by the judges. Now, please welcome the captain of the opposing against team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Thank you, Chairperson and Vice Chairperson. Now, while we do not agree with it, we thank JCI Hong Kong for proposing this motion. The motion that self-funding a startup is better than taking loans assumes that everyone starts in the same platform and privilege in life with capital to invest, and that all businesses are the same, and we therefore must oppose this motion. We interpret the motion to mean that one would be self-funding from their own capital and a loan to be either from a financial institution or from a family or friend. Now, taking a loan from a financial institution or family or friend is not a decision that one would take lightly. It's a calculated risk, and it means for business, it's a calculated risk, and it means for many business models, the difference between making money and a profit and functioning and simply not existing. The opposition may argue in favour of bootstrapping a business, but in my line of business, scale is everything. We require at least $1 million of capital expenditure to get anything working from the outset. Of course, in a utopia textbook existence, self-funding and bootstrapping would be better to avert certain risks. However, the reality is that the world is not inherently equitable, and not all businesses and industries are the same. So we oppose this motion. In many cases, taking a loan is a far better option than self-funding and allows business owners to retain equity in their business. Our first speaker, Ms. Sempel, will speak to the need for money to get started. Our second speaker, Ms. Russo, will speak about the benefits of loans for leveraging capital and building credit. And finally, we will drive home the benefits of a motivating factor like a debt for your business. Now, I thank you, and I look forward to hearing everyone's arguments.
Thank you, Captain, for a wonderful speech. Now again, work for the judges. Judges ready? Yes. So now it's time to please welcome the first speaker of the proposing fourth team to the floor. You have 3 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking. Begin speaking.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Today, our motion is self-funding a startup is better than taking loans. I'm very happy to share some thoughts about my own to you guys. In fact, I would like to open an Instagram shop selling clothes and cosmetics. And I have friends, they have their startup business. They created a platform and they introduce their friends to become a tutor, to introduce some tutoring courses to other students. And also, they're one of my friends, they're one-man photographer. They would like to go for their business, take photos for models or their friends. What do I want to say? I would like to say that as our team captains define that startup is initially is a small business, which means everything we have to start from small things. So when considering the nature of this business is that small business, in fact, there's 2 points I would like to state it. From the point of view of the financial institution, like what the team captain mentioned, if defining loans, there we have a finding that from a database called from an online publications named Small Business Trend, it stated that in last year, there's only less than 14% of small business loan applications were approved by big banks. there's a possibility that you're unable for a small business or a startup. It's a possibility that there's a more difficult to get the loans from the banks. Moreover, another point I would like to state that is, yes, no, thank you. Let me finish my point first. I'd like to say that backing for the example that I stated at the in the first speech that I raised about my own thought of opening my startup, I would like to ask all of you like to imagine if you want to like to start a Instagram shop or such such small business as a startup, will you consider really to get the loans from bank? For me, it will be a burden for me. Let's talk about what's bad to taking a loans. When you have a self-funding, you don't need to worry about paying it back because you will have your full control of your own business. You will not dilute, your share of business will not be diluted. But we can think of the worst outcome of self-funding. The total loss of self-funding may be losing the capital, but while the loss of taking loans can be negative equity, which may be unmeasurable. We cannot rob Peter to pay Paul. And it will be affect in our future credit score if we want to sustain our business. Like it may be more difficult for us to get in car insurance if we cannot repay the debt. So the motion should be for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful speech. And now again, it's time for the judges. So judges ready? Yes, thank you. So now please welcome the first speaker of the opposing against team to the floor. You have 3 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking. All the best.
Thank you, chairs, judges, timekeeper, JCI Hong Kong and guests for joining us in this invigorating debate. JCI Hong Kong have proposed the motion to us all as if it's a fact. JCI Australia Captain Alex Beard introduced our opposition to the motion as self-funding a startup is not always better than taking a loan. To start, I want to name a few people: Mark Zuckerberg, Phil Knight, Steve Ellis, and Jerry Baldwin. Each of these people have had a loan as part of their investment in their startup. As Captain Alex outlined, the motion assumes that everyone starts on the same platform with the same privilege. That is, that they all have the capital to invest to begin with. It also assumes that every business is the same. We understand the position put by the other party, but not every business is going to require a small amount of money for a startup. And that is why self-funding is not always the best option over a loan. I respectfully put to you that this is not the case. Each person is different. Their business is different. A startup can be an innovator in the industry. It is an idea. It is a person's passion. Now, to get that passion off the floor, they do need cash flow and capital. They need cash. Some businesses cannot get started without that cash injection, and that cash start can come from a loan from a bank, a financial institution, a equipment funder, a family or a friend. Now, a lack of self-funding is not a barrier to getting their idea started, as a carefully considered loan can help them take the next step in their business. And time is money. If they do not take that next step, if they cannot proceed at the right time, they might lose the opportunity to even get started with their startup. Okay, so take the experience of getting a loan to fund the purchase of a car. You need that car to go places. You do have some savings to invest in the car, but instead you leverage a loan. And why do you do that? It's so that you can retain your emergency funds. If I can finish my point, thank you, and I have time, I'll answer that. Later, So to retain your emergency fund, it provides you with a layer of protection that you may lose if you self-fund and invest all of your money in a all-in approach where you lose the business entirely, okay? Our second speaker, Ms. Russo, will speak to how a loan can leverage a startup for the future to create its financial history. In the meantime, I want you to think of these key people again. Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook took a loan from his friends. Phil Knight of Nike took a loan from his father. Steve Ellis of Chipotle took a loan from his father as well. And finally, Jerry Baldwin of Starbucks took an $8,000 loan from the bank. Thank you for your time.
Once again, thank you for a wonderful speech. Now again, it's time for the judges. Judges ready? Yes, superb. So now please welcome the second speaker of the proposing fourth team to the floor. The same rule for you. You have also 3 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind that while the team actually say that time is money, we actually agree with that, as taking loans actually take longer time than self-funding. That's why self-funding, we would say that it's much better than taking loans. And also it's important to remember that we are not saying taking loans is not an option, but self-funding is a startup will be better. That's because there's a few points. First of all, it's about the effect of the credit score. You know, when you are missing the loan repayment, it can actually affect your life in the future. For example, like whether you can get a car insurance, whether you can secure another job, or even renting a flat. So that's why when you are doing loans, it's actually not that sustainable. At the same time, you don't forget that you have to pay for the process of borrowing the money, which means that the fee will actually increase with the longer time it takes you to pay back. So if you are a sole trainer, which means that if you have just started a business, you have unlimited liabilities. And this actually, if you own the money, you are personally liable to pay it back, including the loans. At the same time, I would like to say that just now, the team actually mentioned about different kind of big names that they actually succeed when they are taking loans. However, is that the majority? How many cases they are actually taking the loans? At the same time, when you're mentioning not just financial institution, you can borrow loans from friends or family. There's actually a study carried out that we can find that all the adults actually have a problem with that. So that means that you have the mental health problem. Sorry, let me finish my point. Thank you. And this actually the problem actually rendered from anxiety, especially for couples. So this means that it actually gives out a lot of stress and also pressure on the relation if you're taking loans. So it's not just about financial institution, it's also from friends and also family. Perhaps I should also mention one more thing as the trend of the market. It really depends on whether it's necessary to, taking loans, because according to a report from the statistics, the global e-com market actually continues to grow, which is increased nearly 30%, which means that you actually don't need a large amount of money to start a business. So therefore, it's clear that the future of the business is actually online, and usually for the need for funding is likely to reserve for equipment or for marketing, promotion, etc. So that's why I would say that right now, we would say that the motion, we should support that self-funding a startup will be better than taking loans. Thank you.
Thank you for a wonderful speech. So now again, it's time for the judges. Now our judges are ready. Yes. So it's time to welcome the second speaker of the opposing against team to the floor. Same rule for you. You have 3 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking. Are you there?
Chairperson, judges, honourable delegates, JCI Australia supports strongly startups and their founders. The arguments we propose today will give startups the best prospects of success. Honourable delegates from Hong Kong discuss the possibility to run a startup without a loan. But what are its prospects of success? How likely are they to grow, develop, and last the long term? Let it be known that according to the Small Business Administration, $645 billion was borrowed by small businesses in 2019. Borrowing prospects aren't all that uncommon. Today, as the second speaker for JCI Australia, I'll be introducing two key arguments. The first, loans allow startups to create a financial history and secure future growth. And secondly, loans create an important incentive for startups to sell their products and be proactive. To my first point, startups need to demonstrate that they are viable, in other words, effectively managing their funds and generating returns. This greatly influences future financial decisions as they can take on larger loans with financial history created by smaller loans to capitalize on great opportunities for growth and development. Without taking those preliminary loans, they cannot demonstrate effective financial management. Further, their savings are minimal and they don't have a financial history. They cannot secure and take up those exciting and important opportunities. Under our side, we provide a mechanism for startups to establish their financial identity. To my second argument, loans create incentive. Startups know they have to repay the monies, which creates substantial drive and motivation to be proactive, securing potential customers and making sales. In my own experience, utilizing as startup
Point of information.
No, thank you. Utilizing personal savings creates a false sense of security and does not motivate to drive growth. A benefit derived from this type of motivation for startups is that it will secure long-term success from getting started, engaging customers and receiving feedback, which is likely to improve their product and service and make it more appealing and user-friendly. Without this necessary incentive of a loan, this benefit cannot occur and will come at a later stage, and a startup is likely to spend more money in that time without having that valuable feedback, leaving themselves open to a detrimental error not being criticized. Chairperson, judges, honourable delegates, to summarise my speech, startups should consider loans to create financial history and create an incentive for startups to sell their products and be proactive. To conclude, I would like to leave you with 8 words from Napoleon Hill. A goal is a dream with a deadline.
Thank you, Mary, for a wonderful speech. So now again, it's time for the judges. So judges ready? Yes, our judges are ready. So now we continue with a speaker from the same team. So please welcome the captain of the opposing against team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Thank you, Chairperson and Vice Chairperson. Forgive me if I squint. I've got the afternoon sun straight in my eyes. It is a little bit daunting, but we shall get through this. Now, we hold that self-funding is not always better than loans. And given the affirmative refuse to speak to our points of information, we think they secretly know that in this case, we, the negative, are correct. Speaker 1 of the opposition spoke spoke to the fact that not all people or businesses can get a loan. And that's a good thing because only those who it is appropriate to receive funding for will receive a loan from a bank. And that's good. That reduces risk for everyone. Now, that does not mean that funding is always the appropriate route. For some, for those who it is appropriate for, getting a loan is an incredibly good thing. Now, robbing Peter to pay Paul, as Speaker one of the financial system works all around the world. And that too is a good thing. We can put other people's money to work at a return for them for the benefit of the world. Now, Speaker 2 said a loan is an option, but the route to self-funding is often better. The argument was based on what is best for the majority, but their motion is blunt. Self-funding is a startup is better than taking loans. And I've proven, and our team has proven, that this is not always the case. They referenced a study about relationships, which was irrelevant to business success and totally unreferenced. Now, we have proven our points in detail. We have covered every base. And we ask you today, judges, chairperson, to consider the fact that loans are better for some. I thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for a wonderful speech. Now again, it's time for the judges. So judges ready? Yes. So now please welcome the captain of the proposing sport team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Thank you, our opposing team, and bringing us brilliant ideas about taking loans. Like, I would like to point out that according from your first speaker, getting loans from friends and family is actually self-funding. Because, huh? 點解 sign 哦？邊個 sign in 啊？嚇？ Okay, 喺度㗎。Okay, it's actually self-funding because the money is borrowed through our own personal resources. So, as demonstrated, the advantages is demonstrated from your speaker 2 as speaker 1. And that point is, when you talk about utopia on self-funding, no, it's not utopia. It is reality, especially for many ordinary people, not big names. So when you say taking loans are calculated risk, it's the calculated risk from banks, not from the business. No one could guarantee they can succeed on their business. So how can you guarantee that you can repay the loans? So to a large extent, advantages of self-funding would outweigh the advantages of taking loans. And we would like to restate that self-funding a startup is better than taking loans, and this motion must stand. Okay. Thank you for the game, and this ends my speech.
Thank you so much, JCI Hong Kong and JCI Australia. Brilliant round of applause. What a fantastic debate. So now what we're going to do is we're going to send our judges and our timekeeper back to a breakout room just to finalize their score, and they will be back with us shortly. But I am thoroughly enjoying the debate championship today. We have a number of people online in our Zoom so we can see all the faces together, but also we have, the last time I checked, almost 200 people watching us live on JVC. So big waves to everybody on JVC, and it's fantastic for our speakers that they can go over later and check all of your words of encouragement to them, to keep them going during this nerve-wracking time. And I'd also like to commend our two recent debate teams for their fantastic dress wear. We have we look like we have airline staff with us. They're so coordinated, both Australia and Hong Kong. So great to see the effort. And I hope that you can't hear my dog snoring in the background. It's only 7:30 a.m. here in Ireland, and when I was up at 5:30, she thought something was wrong. But it's all good. It's a pleasure to be with you guys for the Asia Pacific Conference. So let's give our judges another few moments, and we'll be back with the announcement of the winner.
Yes, Valentina, please send the judges in the breakout room to finish their work, and timekeepers also.
Well, we have some time. Will we maybe go over to, let's go to the JCI Hong Kong captain and tell us, how did you get into debating in JCI?
Actually, this is a very I would like to have some experience on debating, so I I put my hands up to enroll in the Hong Kong debate competition, and with my two teammates, and all of us are first timers. And thanks to our support from our experienced JCI fellow members and our chapter, they really helped a lot for on preparing or on teaching us how to debate, and help us how to prepare for all the things. So it is a collective effort, and it is also a great experience for us to be here and meeting all of you.
Super. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sorry for interrupting. Judges, please, breakout room is open. Please join the breakout room, timekeepers and judges.
Thank you, Chairperson. So will we ask the same question to the JCI Australia captain and see, how did you guys come to be sitting in front of us? And we let the judges move across.
Well, it was a case of voluntold by our previous national president. We've
and yeah, kind of went from there. We all kind of said yes to it and jumped onto some very long debating calls at ASPAC and World Congress last year.
Very good. Well, both teams were excellent, and we're really glad that you were voluntold. Super.
May I have time to say a few words too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, hello. I would like to say a very great thank you to because I had this opportunity to join this ASPAC, and in fact, different to my team members, Rain and Cheryl, I am a new joint member to JCI, and this is my first time to join such a debate competition. It's really a very meaningful experience for me, and I'm so excited to meet like friends from different countries and regions, like especially from Australia. Like we are Asian Pacific Conference. Actually, I got friends from Japan and Taiwan. I don't have friends from Australia, so I feel so lucky to that our opponent is Australia and have a time to like interact with you guys. You guys do a great job. So happy to meet you. Thank you so much.
So now your challenge is to move over to the JVC app and connect with all of your JCI Australia counterparts so that you can now have friends in JCI Australia as well.
Sure.
And the people watching on the JVC app, you might be able to connect with some of them. Really great.
Yeah, I'm still exploring for it. The website, the app, all the things.
Absolutely. We're all, I talk about JVC and I say we're like the Neil Armstrongs on JVC. We are the first people to go there. So it's up to us for this year and next year as we're getting all of the new apps and the updates and exploring all the technologies. We are the first explorers on JVC. So we're the ones that can make it grow and make it better and make it a huge network for in years to come when our members come on board and they see, oh my gosh, there's 250,000 JCs here on this one platform. And I think when we think about JVC, you know, we used to be on MySpace, or we used to be on, in Ireland, we had this one called Bebo and Facebook and Instagram, but at least on JVC, we're all going to be in the same place and it's not going to disappear like MySpace or Bebo or the younger members who maybe are now on TikTok and some are on Facebook, and at least now we'll all be in the one place. I think our judges are almost coming back. Let's see.
Yes, our judges are on the way. They will join in 1-2 minutes. Already start joining. Already they joined. So now the result is with us. So Teresa, which judge is going to announce the result?
Okay, the winner will be JCI Australia. Congratulations.
Wow, the winner of the second round of debate is JCI Australia. Congratulations, JCI Australia, and congratulations, JCI Hong Kong, for a wonderful participation and wonderful debate with each other.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely, and thank you so much to our judges. It is not easy, and I'm sure it was tight. So really well done, and we will see you all soon. Our upcoming debate now is debate 3. Would you believe our morning is going faster, our afternoon as it is there? So now we are going to welcome everybody again that's watching online. This is our 2022 JCI ASPAC Debating Championship. And we're going to review the rules again, just for our newest teams, but also for people listening.
So before we go for the begin our competition, it is important that we give an overview of the debating rules that help structure our competition today.
Absolutely. And today's teams will consist of 1 team captain and 2 supporting speakers. The debates will have a prep twice and each supporting speaker speaking once. A point of information can be raised while an opposing speaker has the floor by just pressing unmute and saying point of information. A point of information cannot be asked during the first minute, which is protected. Speakers who have the floor can refuse or accept the point by showing they will address the point after making their argument. Teams will be allowed 1 60-second timeout if they want to during the debate between speakers, and only immediately after a speaker has finished delivering their arguments. We have a fantastic judging panel, and their decision will be final and cannot be appealed.
Thank you, VP. So as a reminder to everyone, please keep yourself on mute unless you are speaking or asking a point of information. Please also remember to turn off all phones and other devices and close down any other browser or windows or programs that may create noise. When it is your turn to speak, please pin the timekeeper's video so that you are them on screen at all the times. You can see the timekeeper's video. It's displaying 3 minutes, 2 minutes like that. So it's very easy for you. Over to VP.
Absolutely, VP. And just a reminder that if your connection drops at any stage, the time will just continue. So if you join back in, just please keep an eye out again for the timekeeper's videos. So now we're going to welcome back our judges who are working very hard. So we have VP Therese Poon from JCI Hong Kong, VP Kaveen Kumaravel from JCI India, and Vicky Martinez from JCI Philippines. And to perform, me again, to perform the important role of timekeepers, please allow me to welcome back Arvind Buredi and Vashundra Singh. I'm now going to introduce the teams. So let's hope that they're both here when I call them. So just confirm that you're here when I call you out. So our proposing team for the motion is JCI Cambodia. So do we have Captain Rick Shanpiran? And if I say your name wrong, please do correct me.
It's correct.
You're here, very good. And your first speaker, Ratana Sumani Sun.
Yes, here.
Fantastic. And second speaker, Samrak Amara.
Present, Madam Chair.
Fantastic. And now we go and we look at the opposing team. The team against the motion is from JCI Mongolia. So we have Captain Fatima Bajau. I'm going to get you to say your name better than me.
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, everyone.
And how do you pronounce your name?
Fatma.
Very good, very good. And our first speaker is Unumunku Jargal Saitan. I'm very bad at these names. If you want to say your own name.
Yes, you can just shortly call me Uno, and greetings to you all.
But you Thank you. And second speaker, Zuli Jaragal Niamjav.
Yes, I'm here. Just a little bit of correction. So I'm Zoljargo Niamjav, the first speaker, and Unmu will be the second.
Thank you. So let's make sure our judges can jot that down and our timekeeper jot that down. So a switch between speaker 1 and speaker 2 for JCI Mongolia. Okay, judges. So our motion for the third debate today is that growth in new technology means it's easier than ever for small businesses to create their own programs, innovate and collaborate with specialized teams.
Thank you, VP. So welcome to all both the teams, and I hope judges note down the changes. So now let's start the proceedings. The team have prepared for 15 minutes for this debate. Speakers, please make sure you have pinned the timekeeper's video. And now it's time to welcome the captain of the proposing 4 team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking. So you will start. All the best.
So greeting judges, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow debaters. I am the team captain from government side who strongly agree with the motion stating that growth in new technology means that it's easier than ever for small business to create their own program, innovate, and collaborate with specialized teams. So growth in new technology meaning that have a lot of resources and technologies, and we can actually access to those and then make use of it. So being born in a technological era is a privilege for us, especially for small businesses. Growing in small businesses can be a hard work. We have to give dedications and willingness to think outside the box. Yet there's come the point when you search of that because you have technologies to grow your business. And new technologies constantly being developed to fit needs for business owners and can use of these strategies to begin and take advantage of those opinions to fit your business needs. So our teams have 3 arguments. The first argument will be presented by me. It's about advantage of technologies. The second argument is security and support. And the third argument, technologies, is becoming a major factor in every startup business. So technologies is really, really important. we can take advantage of new technologies, because technologies, we can enjoy it and then take advantage of it right now. And these including low in cost, affordable, to reach more consumers and to do marketing strategies. To improve customer experience and to actually reach a lot of audience around the world. And the benefits of using global tools to actually in the specific areas. For example, we can see that a lot of small businesses right now using platform of Facebook, website, Instagram to actually create their own platform to actually promote their products and take full advantages of technology. So these we can see that technology is really important for small business to actually take advantage of those things and then create and innovate something new for the business. And we're proud to support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you for the fine speech, JCI Cambodia. Now again, started for the judges. So our judges are ready. So now please welcome the captain of the opposing against team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the team captain from GCI Mongolia, and today the motion is presented that new technology means it's easier than ever small business to create their own programs. Thank you for the proposition, team captain. You didn't have defined that the small business is not a medium enterprise. We're talking about a small business, and a small business, they don't have the privilege to use the technology as it is the given in today's 21st century. And as a specialized team, they also didn't define the specialized team. It is a trained or developed for a particular purpose or area of a knowledge, which means they will cost more. They're professional people. I would like to go to my first argument, which is less innovation. Our first speaker, Dr. will elaborate more about what the facts and researches about on this argument. Less innovation. Technology is giving us not the opportunity, it is giving us less innovation, less teamwork, and teamwork is something that creates the dream work. Our second argument is specialized teams cost expensive, unique, and demands a diverse set of skills and expertise. It takes a village to develop a software. How is that a small business can do that? We're not talking about large or big or medium enterprises. We're talking about the small businesses. And our third argument, which is too risky and a failure. Small businesses, they could not create the risk management, and they're going to be a more cybersecurity. This house believes that the growth in new technology doesn't mean it's easier than ever for small businesses to create. It means it's more hard, and it takes more and more costly, and it's expensive, and it's going to take more time for the small businesses. They don't have the privilege to use the 21st century technology, and as the opposing team, we are against with the entire motion. And also, technology dependency is going to define the short and the long-term resilience machines and techniques to evaluate in the future. And we strongly against this. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Captain, for a wonderful speech. So now again, time starts for the judges. So thank you for the fine speech. So now again, it's time for the judges. Done. So now please welcome the first speaker of the opposing against team to the floor. You have 3 minutes, which will start where you begin speaking.
Am I audible? Yes. So a very good afternoon to our honorable judges, fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen. I am the first speaker from the government team, and I'm strongly support the motion saying that growth in new technology means it's easier than ever for small businesses to create their own programs, innovate, and collaborate with specialized teams. And my responsibility is to rebut and raise one more argument from my team. But first of all, I would like to take my time to rebut to the first argument from the opposition team. Now, the first argument from the opposition team saying that it is too risky and there might be failure because of cybersecurity. And I would like to rebut and refuse that to this argument because even with the challenge of cybersecurity, we, the small businesses, can still find a way and find another platform for securing cybersecurity. We are not staying in the same way. We are growing as the technology is still growing as well. And the opposition team also saying that it is less teamwork for small businesses to use technology. And I would like to refuse to this argument as well, because as we are using technology and we're growing, and during the crisis we are using this technology. So somehow technology is a way for us to communicate and higher chance for teamwork. Now I would like to raise my argument, my second argument from the government side. So the second argument is security and support. So with the growth of technology, productivity rises thanks to that. And with this fact, the commercial activity require less resources and enabling a better product, and also supported to small businesses. And it is and for us as a small businesses, we can take the chance to make something by our own with affordable and suitable. We don't need to use something that is expensive for small business. And
POI?
No, thank you. So we also can create our own platform to find our to create our safety space for ourselves, as well as to innovate it, and also we can work with our collaborate with our specialized team. So we strongly support the motions that the growth in new technology makes it easier than ever for small businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, JCI Cambodia, for a wonderful deliberation. So now again, it's time for the judges. I know our judges are ready very fast this time. Yes, our judges are ready. So now please welcome the second speaker of the proposing fourth team to the floor. You have 3 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the first speaker of JCI Mongolia debating team, Zoljargo Nyamjang. Sorry. I want to loud and clear say our team slogan: too much tech dependency in our area. Let's just stop this, even for the small businesses. I want to clarify again the small businesses. As we have stated, our team captain, this is small, 5 to 10 people run for example, like a household business, a bakery, or a coffee shop. So it is not SME. We have to remind this. That leads to our first argument, which is this is not technology is allowing teamwork and innovation. I want to remind how teamwork and innovation work. In order to make an innovation, the small businesses, they need to gather and then they need to talk. They need to run the business with the interaction. In the small business context, they don't need to run and tech up to date. They don't need to run after technology. They do have their own customers. They run the businesses, and it's going to be very hard for them to keep up the update, and it's not necessary. That is the thing. Our second argument, it is very expensive, as stated by team captain. Let's talk about the specialized teams. We're talking about the specialized teams in, for example, legal firm or auditing firms. They are super expensive. Let me give you an statistics. And then just in general, an average audit firm to do the auditing, it will be $130,000. If it's in a public company, it is $9.8 million. Guys, this is super expensive. Do we need to worry about small businesses to hire these specialized teams? No, they don't need to. And it's going to be super expensive. And technology doesn't help for them. Let's see the lawyer firm's cost. It is $150,000 to $750,000 for this businesses. And our third argument, it's too risky and too much failure. And our second member, Onmung, will elaborate more. Now I'm going to go to the rebuttal speech. Okay, the government side says technology is important. It's very useful. Our today's motion is not about is technology useful or not. We're talking about, is it easier for the small businesses to hire and innovate their programs and collaborate with specialized teams? So it's not about is technology good or bad. It is super hard for small businesses to use the specialized teams using the technology. It's not such burden for them. They don't need to. They do have their own customers. They run their own businesses with people-to-people interaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, JCI Mongolia, for a wonderful participation. Now again, it's time for the judges. So our judges are ready. So now please welcome the second speaker of the opposing against team to the floor. You have also 3 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Okay, so I will start my speak in 3, 2, 1. So green judges, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm the third speaker of the government side, and I briefly to support the motion. So in my debate, I'm going to do two important things. First, doing some rebuttals, and second, providing my argument and tell you why technology is easy for business, for small businesses, as well as how small business can work with those growth technology to innovate and also create their own program, as well as cooperate with the other partnerships as well. So let me tell you the first rebuttal. Let me answer to the opposition side why it actually works. So by meaning small business, we actually know that we're small, and creating our program doesn't mean that we have to create something big. Actually, we have to create something by our own. Let's say a marketing strategy, create our own page. So if you're saying that small business don't be able to do that, what can we do though to improve our businesses? And moreover, regarding innovating, doesn't mean you have to contribute a lot of money to innovate something new or big, like the big industrial businesses. Like just create like new package for your, for your product, and also call innovate. And also for the cooperation or connect with a specialized program, we actually have ability to do it. So small business here means that we try to do something that very affordable for our own, and we fit our capability. And let me tell you why it's easy for small business and very flexible for us to engage with our globalization and our technology work. So first things first is that it's allow our small business to engage with the market. Within the past century, there are no such thing that small business can potentially engage with those small, those markets. However, nowadays after technology, advanced technology innovate, computer, laptop, internet make us like more chance to engage with our market. And secondly, technology makes and builds people associate with one another, which is construct which is which is very opposite from the opposition state. It actually make it into like associate integrate with one another, integrate with one another globally and locally. It doesn't mean that you have to meet with each other and talk. We have technology, we can communicate during crisis, communicate about business. And why it's very flexible to this world. So, you know, technology is very important factor for small business to grow during the crisis as well, and in this globalization as well. Because to make the business success, we have to use technology as well as our physical work as well. We use it like you have a shop and physically and also sell it online. The hybrid way actually works for business. So in our state, we would like to say that small business can work with the technology growth to improve our own program with our affordable strategy. Thank you. We glad to support the motion.
Thank you, JCI Cambodia, once again for a wonderful speech. So now again, it's time for the judges. So our judges are ready. So now we continue with a speaker from the same team. So please welcome the captain of the opposing against team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Hello, this is the second speaker of the opposition team. There should be a okay.
VP Raki. Last one was the second speaker of the opposing team, so now it's the second speaker of the opposing team.
Okay.
So am I audible? 3, 2, 1, I can start. New technology is making it easier than ever for a small business to create their own programs, innovate and collaborate with specialized teams. The first thing that to judge the propositions team is that they haven't set any definitions on what is a new technology. They haven't provided us any example. Like, what is the understanding of their new technology they're talking about? Is internet a new technology? No, it has been around for 20 years and they're considering it's a new technology, and that's a fault. And the next thing, where's the example and where's the support and evidence on the fact that the advantage of technology argument? The first thing, they said that it's going to cost lower, but actually we have, with our second argument, proven that it's going to cost more expensive. It will be more expensive because the specialized teams, they require too much funding, too much money to collaborate. And the next thing, what kind of new technology they're talking about is uncertain, and let's move on. There's also another thing. The small businesses, most of them are purposed to feed the household. They're not trying to invade the market. They're not trying to achieve that greater result. They're trying to feed the household. And how is that relevant with new technology and programs, innovation, collaboration? And what is even collaborating with specialized teams? So I would like if the proposition team captain would provide us an example. And the next thing, so we have raised 3 arguments. Our first argument is less innovation. New technology is killing the innovation among the small businesses. The second thing, it's very expensive. As our first member, Zoljarov has stated, it's costing too much, and also the arms and legs for small business to collaborate with specialized teams. So our third argument is too risky, and I will support this argument. So according to Panamanon Institute study, it is made in 2017, 61% of small businesses experienced cyber attack in 2017. It's a very drastic number. Why? Because they don't have enough security, they don't have enough funding to protect their data from invaders. And also another thing, 70% of intellectual property theft occurs within the first 90 days of operation among small business. This study was made by InfoSecurity magazine in 2019. So it is actually very threatening for small business to lose their business. It's getting more expensive. It's getting more harder, more troublesome for the small businesses because new technology is causing disadvantage to them. Thank you.
Thank you once again for a wonderful speech. So sorry for a little bit confusion. So now I think our judges are ready once again. So now we continue with a speaker from the same team. So please welcome the captain of the opposing against team to the floor. You have 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
Okay, good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the captain, and today we had a very fruitful debate. I would like to go through our first and second arguments, which our first and second speaker has elaborated with the really clear facts and statistics. The first one, less innovation. Second, a specialized team is expensive. And third one, risk and too much failure. Just imagine starting a startup in a small business. You're just feeding your family and you're feeding your household. Do you really need that much big specialized team? The lawyer, the accountant, and everything? Isn't that going to cost you much? Just think about in the grounded people, the person that's around you who is running a small business. Do they really need this high technology? Do they really need this kind of specialized team? It's going to cost them much more money. And also, we have defended our cases very successfully. And there are some policies that the proposition team captain has made it in the first place. They didn't define about the small business, which is the main important thing to this entire debate, that we are not talking about the medium-sized enterprises. Medium-sized enterprises and higher and larger businesses, they have the privilege to use the technology, but small businesses don't. Just imagine who are around you who are running a small businesses. And also, they didn't define about the specialized team. The last word in this entire debate, the word is specialized team, which costs much money, which costs a lot of, time and saving and stuff from very independent individual. Even big, larger companies, they can't even afford it. And also, we would like to say that honorable judges and their audience, we urge you that we think that the new technology growth in small businesses is never easier than ever for small businesses to create their own programs, to have their specialized team, and to collaborate. It's making it more and more difficult for them in the future and also run in the future as well. Making them technology dependent is not the good way of creating a successful business. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, JCI Mongolia, for a wonderful speech. Now, again, it's time for the judges. So, our judges are ready. So, now please welcome the captain of the proposing 4 team to the floor. You have also 2 minutes, which will start when you begin speaking.
A grand greeting, judges, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow debaters. We want small business to grow. However, by using new technologies right now, it's even help faster the growth of the small business as well. But what about the opposition side can take advantage of new technology? So now technology is growing. How can they actually take advantage of new technology? So we have the arguments in total. The first one is that new technology is beneficial for small business. So for it's low cost of doing a small business to promote their products, to actually reach audience all around the world, to actually introduce their products to everyone. And our second argument is that it's about security and support. So by using new technology or platform on internet or websites, we can actually have more support from everyone around the world as well. These can actually form a group or community on the internet to actually work as a team. And our third argument is that technology is now becoming a factor for every business. So technology is really important to promote products on the internet and on the website. So why we should win the debate is that it brings more technologies than risk. So risk is actually a part of technologies. Everyone have to experience that. But however, we want to take advantage of the new technologies, and it bring more advantages than risk. And then, is it expensive? Small business can actually do small things to support their business. We don't have to to be so big or hire a team that is actually expensive. We can actually do the research strategies, marketing, and do green business for sustainability, and do a deliver things to actually reach everyone. And this is small things that we can do for small business. And we don't have more knowledge regarding this. It's 21st century, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone knows about technologies and can use it and make a full advantage of it. So we, government side, proud to support the motion. Thank you.
Fantastic, well done, excellent, JCI Cambodia and JCI Mongolia. You can take a big breath of relief, and I'm going to ask our judges and our timekeeper to please click the button again to head over to the breakout room so you can finalize your scores. And what a lively debate that was for our third debate. And I just got news in from Valentina, who tells me there's over 300 people watching live on JVC. So I'm sure they're enjoying this debate. And as we remember, our judges now need to kind of go across and tat up the scores to see who was having a good teamwork strategy, who had a good pace and tone, who was handling points of information very well, who was keeping to their time, and who also had a good argument and good content and good debating style. So there's so much to consider when you're a judge. When you're an audience member, it can seem clear who the winner is, but it's a little bit harder when you're a judge and you're trying to assign all the points. So really, really well done, JCI Cambodia and JCI Mongolia. If you guys want to unmute and congratulate each other, I'm sure you're now friends after that debate. So we'll ask JCI Cambodia to unmute first.
Thank you for the team Cambodia. It is a great match and we have learned a lot. And our participation is a great achievement for us, we think. Thank you. And I hope we become good friends after this event. No matter who wins. Okay.
Let's be friends.
Okay, also congrats to you as well. And like we are proudly to be here as well, and like have a great match with you and see your potential as well. And yeah, nice to meet you and hope we can be friends. Maybe we can meet like each other somehow if possible. But I don't know, it's just meeting each other online. It's just like cheer and fighting. Yes.
Super. Thank you so much, teams. And I think I see two judges back.
Yes, two judges are with us. So I think the result is also in our hand. So can we announce the result? So I request the judge Vicky, please announce the result.
Yes, congratulations everyone. For this round, the winner is JCI Mongolia.
Wow. Congratulations. So finally the winner is JCI Mongolia. So congratulations JCI Mongolia and congratulations JCI Mongolia for your full participation.
Such excitement. Fantastic. So that's 3 debates done. We're moving swiftly through our day. So now we are welcoming back the captains of the debate team runner-up so far. So the best score among these 3 debate teams will now continue on to the next round. So I'm wondering if the judges can announce who the winner is, the winner of the top scoring of the runner-up teams. Do we have this result yet, or do we need some more time?
So thank you once again, everyone, and see you soon in the upcoming debate. So can we start? Kiera, can we start the debate 4?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we have the announcement of the winner of the 3 runner-up. We can move on and we can catch up with this afterwards.
Yes. So now we'll start our debate 4. So welcome to the second round of the 2022 JCI ASPAC Debate Championship. Let's review the rules for anyone joining us now. Over to VP.
Absolutely. So it's really important that we give an overview of the rules to help everybody understand our structure, and we have new teams joining us now. So VP Raki will take you through today's rules.
So before we begin our competition, today's rules. Team will consist of 1 team captain and 2 supporting speakers. Each team will speak a total for 4 times, with team captain speaking twice and each supporting speaker speaking once. A point of information can be raised while an opposing speaker has the floor by unmuting yourself and saying point of information. A point of information cannot be asked during the first minute, which is protected. Speakers who have the floor can refuse or accept the point by showing they will address the point after making their argument. Team will be allowed 1 60-second timeout during the debate between speakers and only immediately after a speaker has finished delivering arguments. The decision of 3-person judging panel are final and will not be appealed. Over to VP.
Thank you. And as a reminder to everybody, please do keep your phone